Welcome back to the Bullet Grill House High School Sports Pregame Show. Craig Irwin, Brian Besh, Chris Moran, and Brian, was the line about the salsa?
It's good, man. It's good, and I mean, like it's not a shock though. Like everything here is so good, and like I knew it was gonna be. And Chris was just talking about how much they've got on the menu, and how the guy just everything is just homemade and it's like done from scratch back there.
And it is, and that's, I don't know, I'm going to say that is what makes it so good, is it is from scratch, and there's heart and soul put into that, and Chris puts a lot of effort into everything here at Bullet Grill House. But, I mean, I had the salsa, we ordered the queso and salsa. It's a menu item, and last week, in case my little one, my 2-year-old, he was digging down on the queso, and I was like, dude, you can have all you want. I'm in the middle of the salsa. Then he tried the salsa. As a 2-year-old, he likes a little spice. Dude, he just kept going back for the salsa. It's like, no, bud, the queso is yours, the salsa's mine, okay? So I had to move it away from him. He got mad. I had to put it back, and he ate about half of it. But the salsa is worth having. So we're here in the third segment here at Bullet Grill House. We're here every Wednesday night. Come by and see us. But something I want to talk about, the World's Fair kicking off in Cold Spring this next week. Saturday, tomorrow, it's kicking off. Big thing I'm doing, and as some may and or may not know, is
The World's Fair?
Yeah, the World's Fair, San Jacinto County.
Huh? Who knew?
I rode bulls for 20 years, from the time I was a kid up until I was in my 20s.
That's what's wrong with you.
So I always said, and a lot of people that know me, I used to be a big old fat guy. From a bull rider to a big fat guy. I was like 350 pounds, and now I'm like 195. But I always said if I got below 220 ever, that I'd get on one more. And this week, kicking off Saturday at the fairgrounds, 5 o'clock, the queens will start riding, and the bull riding will start right after, as soon as they get the pin cut off and all that good stuff. But the queens get started at 5 for the San Jacinto County Fair. And they got youth bull riding and an open bull riding that's going to be going on, and the David Allen Band goes on after that. But my point to all of that is between the youth bull riding and the open bull riding, I'm getting on one more bull. And I've been working at it. I've been working out and trying to get myself mentally, physically in shape. Mentally, I feel like I'm there. But I'm getting on one more. Is for charity. We're going to sell raffle tickets, $1 a piece, for a 50-50. I said raffle. It's more of a 50-50. We're going to sell them for $1 a piece. And you can drop your ticket in the bucket whether I'm going to ride or whether I'm going to buck off. And after I get done, there in the arena, I'm going to draw the ticket out of that bucket, and you're going to win half the pot. My half of the pot, I'm donating that money. Half of it's going to the scholarship fund.
So it's basically just a decision if you're too scared to ride the bull.
I'm going to ride. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to show up and you're going to spend $1 and drop a ticket in the bucket, bet on me to ride. I promise you. But half of it's going to the scholarship fund for the San Jacinto County Fair Association. The other half I am giving to the Cold Spring Senior Center.
That's cool.
Which my mom ran for 7 or 8 years. She was the head director over all of that. Near and dear to my heart. My grandpa passed away Tuesday of this week, and he was up there each and every week, had lunch every day, and it was a big hit there at the Cold Spring Senior Center. And the other half of what I'm donating is going to go to the Senior Center to help that place out. And so two things that are near and dear to me, and besides high school football. So I wanted to throw that out there. And if you're not doing anything Saturday evening, if you're at Bullet Grill House, you're watching football all day long, and you decide to bounce out, come on down.
So my question is, are you doing the whole urban cowboy thing where like you're going to the bar early and getting on the mechanical bull and doing that kind of training?
I'm probably not going to go get on the mechanical bull that day. I will be going tomorrow, Thursday. I'll be going and getting on more or less what's a mechanical bull and getting my workout in for the week. and and then I have a flamboyant shirt picked out. It's at the cleaners right now, getting starched for next week or for Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, San Jacinto County Fair getting kicked off. Y'all get out and come see it. But before that, we got a lot of games coming up Friday night. You got district games going on at the 5A and 6A level. And we got a good pick'em segment coming up. So let's.
I got to redeem. I told you, like, I got to redeem myself. But the other thing is, I think Chris and I need to be judged on a curve. You've got these so early, and you say you text these things to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen any kind of text.
Brian, look, here's the deal. You text me at 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in bed at that time.
That's too bad. Having one of those jobs where you're like the old folks or something, to where are you going to like the early bird specials or?
Well, I get up at 5 in the morning while you're like having dinner and getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So Chris, he's winding down at 5 in the morning.
I'm pretty sure Chris doesn't sleep. This dude's constantly going. I doubt he has a bed.
Do you have a bed?
I've got a bed. We've got a couch upstairs too.
There you go. That's what it is.
Yeah, we had some briskets on last night. I was up here at 4 o'clock in the morning pulling some briskets off because they were ready to come, and then had some more I had to wait on. So instead of going home, I just crashed on the couch for
a couple
hours and watched my alarm to go off for the next round to come off.
So that's why Barb's up here every week, every evening, so she can see you, right?
Yeah, that's the most we get to see each other.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, I guess. Crosby at Barbers Hill tonight. Going to be a good game. LaPorte at Baytown Lee, Baytown Sterling at Kingwood Park, and New Caney Porter at Port Arthur Memorial. Now, on another thread, I picked New Caney Porter to win that, and it was a mistake. The way it read, I thought it read just New Caney, and I thought the New Caney Eagles were going down there. Port Arthur Memorial is going to win that football game. Hands down. I have the New Caney Eagles in our pick'em today. So another game I want to briefly talk about is Navasota on the road at Huffman. I think that's going to be a really good football game tonight. I feel like that Navasota is going to pull out the win here, just off of what I've watched scoreboard watching over the last couple weeks. I feel like Navasota is going to get that win. Another big game that I was looking at, let me find it. It's in our pick'em. Oh, excuse me. I thought was going to be a big game, and I don't feel like it is now. Franklin at Jasper.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that game's going to have the magnitude that we once thought it would if you were looking at this in the middle of July, looking at the schedules.
Franklin's one of those small schools that I put right up there with Newton. Unless they're playing each other, I don't see myself picking against them.
No, you're exactly right. But let's talk about pick'ems, and let's go ahead and jump into it. First game I got on the pick'em schedule: Hampshire Finette at Splendora. Splendora coming off of 2 losses, another home game for the Wildcats. I'm going to go ahead. I've watched both of these teams play. Some injuries have plagued Hampshire Finette, but I watched how well they played against the Cold Spring Trojans. I got Hampshire Finette in this one.
That's where I was going to.
Oh, yeah, I agree. You got to pick Hampshire Finette.
You got to go HF on this one, and I think they're going to make a solid statement in their district, if not win the district title. It's going to be fun to watch, and we're going to talk about that district as we get a little bit further on in the season. But Hampshire Finette's going to be a team to really keep an eye on. And I'm going to tell you, this last week being there, a lot of construction going on at that facilities. They're building new field house and concession stands. Literally only porta cans out there to use the bathroom. But the fan base they have there is just absolutely unbelievable. It's a lot of fun, and they travel big as well.
They're starting to win a lot more, too.
Yes, they are. Here's one that's going to put everybody on edge. The Woodlands Highlanders at New Caney.
I'm going to go to Woodlands. And I know you're probably going to go to New Caney, but I'm still going Woodlands.
Chris?
I got to go to the Woodlands. My kids went to the Woodlands High School. We lived there for 10 years, so I was a season ticket holder at the bank, the stadium down there in the Woodlands.
At Wood Forest Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
gotta go with the Woodlands.
I'm actually going to shock y'all, just for the simple fact is I had a little insight. I'm going to go with the Woodlands as well, as one of the key players for New Caney is out with a broken hand.
Uh-oh.
And what's sad about that is this kid is already committed to the Louisiana Raging Cajuns to play baseball. So luckily it's on his left hand. He's a right-handed thrower, so shouldn't affect his baseball ability. He's a middle infielder. Good friend of mine, Scott Lucas. It's his son. So I'm going to go with the Woodlands on this one on the road. I think it's New Caney's first really big matchup. There's a lot of hype there for the Eagles as they defeated Willis last week, but I think they're going to get humbled very easily at the 6A level with the Woodlands coming to Randall Reed Stadium this week. West Stark at Newton.
Well, here
This is a tough one.
I just talked about not picking against Newton, but then you go and throw West Orange Stark in there. Honestly, just because they are the larger school, I'm going West Orange Stark.
Well, I'm going to jump in before Chris does. And yes, they are the larger school. This game is a home game for the Newton Eagles. And I think that that's going to carry a lot for them. Defeating Jasper, they've had a successful season overall. Yes, they suffered a loss, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I think Newton is trying to get back on their statute, and with this being a home game, I'm going with Newton on this one.
Okay.
I'm going with Newton. I'm taking your advice and not
I'm
picking
the
against
only
Newton.
one's
So
not.
I think it's going to be Newton.
I mean, but really and truly, it really is hard to go against Newton, but it's hard to go against West Orange Stark.
It is.
And my deal with West Orange Stark is new head coach over there, so they still have a lot to prove. That's why I'm staying with where I'm at. Next game on the list is a homecoming game. Shepherd is going to be hosting Hempstead. Chris.
I like Shepherd. Got to stay in the county. Support the county team, and it's homecoming.
Yep. A lot of good going right
Yeah.
there, and a lot moving into Shepherd's favor in this one, coming off of a loss to Orangefield last week. What I have learned about Shepherd is they're more of a second-half football team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Shepherd can do with Hempstead, and I'm taking Shepherd in this one.
I hate the distraction of homecoming. I hate it. It seems like, and especially with you saying that they're a second-half team, it's always a slow start during homecoming. Now, a lot of times emotion will ride out, and you'll get a victory that way. I'm going to go the opposite.
You're going Hempstead.
I am.
All right.
But I'm pulling for you, Shepherd. I'm pulling for you.
Last and final game in the Pick'ems is Corrigan Camden Bulldogs on the road at Cold Spring. Homecoming once again for the Trojans. We've talked about both of these teams at length throughout the 3 weeks prior to this. I feel like you at home, you on the road listening to this broadcast right now, that you probably can pick in there with us. Going to be a tough game for the Trojans, and I'm going to start this one off as I've let you and Chris, Brian, get the other two shows going, or the other pick'ems going. Cold Spring had an eye-opening experience this last week with getting their rear ends handed to them by Hampshire Finette. I've talked to Coach Rydell throughout the week, and he agreed with what I had to say about it was like Cold Spring didn't show up to play Hampshire Finette. They thought they were just going to win that game hands down, and there was no adjustments made. There needs to be some adjustments made offensively. Rydell's the defense coordinator, and I voiced my opinion on some changes on the defensive side of the ball. With this being a home game, coming off a loss, I think Coach Stanley and staff has really snapped these kids in the hand. I think it's going to be a dogfight. Cold Spring by 1 touchdown.
I can't lose either way because both of these are in our coverage area. So if whoever wins, it's going to be a bonus, and whoever loses, I know it's not the end of the season for either of them. But it's one of those games like we talked about, close proximity, and it's going to mean something to these kids, even though it's non-district. I'm going to go Cork and Camden to keep their undefeated record, and until they lose and prove me wrong, I'm going to keep picking them.
Chris.
I'm going to Cold Spring. I think the home game, homecoming, back home after a loss. Let's hope they need to rebound and they need to take care of business.
Chris is going to end up falling into these pick'ems and being a contender and end up second behind me because Brian is reacting off of emotion over there. You're listening to the Bullet Grill House High School Sports Pregame Show. That's going to do it for us tonight. Y'all come see us on Wednesday nights here at Bullet Grill House. We're going to take a break and go live there, get ready for kickoff. We appreciate y'all tuning in to 102.3 The Eagle, AM 1440 The Score, and 105.5 KDOL The Wolf. You're listening to the Bullet Grill House Pregame Show. We'll be back right after this.